Hey, so Lover was my favorite album so far.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're doing over there, Mr. Sean Show. Welcome, everybody, to Brick City Blockade Podcast Celebration Europe.
Not a network anymore.
Not a network anymore for many reasons. However,
we are here not in Europe.
I know. As you can tell, we're not in Europe. Tony's in.
Tony, everything that I do is legal. I just haven't gotten caught yet.
Come on, Tony. You know how that's how Andrew rolls. I'm host Robin Vogt. Across from me over there is
your host.
Yep, Sean Misho. Sean, say good hi. Say good hi. Good hi to the good people out there.
Shaelyn.
Hi, how are you? Good hi.
Hi. You're gonna say Shaelyn. That's
well, yes.
I mean, at least we're
don't
classify us as professional podcasters.
Professional podcasters, correct?
Professional pod blaster. What?
Pod blaster?
We're not going there.
That just sounds like a subcategory on Pornhub.
Commander Nerd over there. How's it going there, Andrew?
Hello there. We had a lot of news from Celebration today.
Ooh, yes, we did.
And it's only day one.
This girl right here, my lovely girlfriend, Shaelyn. Hi, Shaelyn.
No, he said hi to me. Okay, cool.
Hi,
said hi to you.
Hi, Shaelyn.
Shaelyn, I said hi to you first. So
I know you did, but yes.
I'm the best. That's
You're
why.
the best. You are. You said hi to me before he even introduced me, so you get all the brownie points.
Wow.
And I declare a marshmallow brownie point.
Oh, I want a chocolate.
That's just.
We don't have any.
Yes, we do.
I'm just flexing on everyone.
Come on, Sean. All right, gentlemen. So, Star Wars Celebration Europe, day one. Sean, initial thoughts on everything that was dropped today.
Oh, right when I'm.
That's why I chose you first.
So, that's my final thoughts. No. The first thing we got this morning was the Ahsoka trailer, which I was super pumped and watched a couple times before work, so I didn't get much. I didn't see much of going on for the whole day because I was at work. So, but from watching the trailer, it was great seeing Ahsoka finally coming to the series, and then we see Thrawn, we see Ezra, we see Hera, we see all these great characters. Like we're back to Rebels, kind of. Yeah. Well, live.
Andrew, how about you?
I said it in our group chat. Ahsoka is essentially Rebels season 5 with Heir to the Empire thrown in. The trailer did everything I wanted to, where it didn't really show a whole lot.
Right.
And it made you excited for what's to come, especially with the big blue guy.
The big blue guy. I like that. I'm going to create a new t-shirt for us. It's going to call Big Blue Guy.
And it's just Thrawn's eyes.
Just Thrawn's red eyes. Yep.
So then it will throw people off. You're like, wait.
Oh my goodness. So I want to break down the teaser with you guys kind of frame by frame. I went back probably about 20-25 minutes ago, and I was like, you know what? Let me kind of go through this and let's see like the different
100 times you've watched it already.
Oh, it's ridiculous how many times I've already seen it. So honestly, let me start with this. Rural Farm Boy, we're so excited to be back. The podcast here talking Star Wars with everybody. Rural Farm Boy has been listening to us for a very long time. So
also thank you for calling me out earlier.
Yeah, I know.
I saw it on Instagram. So
although it was me that mentioned about Ezra's lightsaber, so technically he called you out wrong.
Yeah.
He still called me out. So
RFB will do that. That's for sure. So right at the beginning of this Ahsoka teaser, we're getting Sabine right off the bat. Let me just say, initial thoughts are, and I love everything that was trending on Twitter that was like Sabine's long hair, and like somebody created a Twitter account for it because this is the fandom, right? This is the things that happen. But she's without her armor. We see that clip with her with the helmet
Yeah.
and the Wolf Cat, and then she's not in her armor. But the thing that Shaelyn brought up, which I think is really important to this, is that this is literally the conclusion to the last season of Rebels that we're seeing in live action.
Mm-hmm. It's literally the epilogue of Rebels.
It's the epilogue, right?
The only thing that's different is Sabine has long hair, which honestly I don't care.
Yeah,
I think long hair works for Sabine. It's going to be weird when she puts the helmet on. You can still see the hair underneath the helmet.
Right.
I was just reading Will Farm Boy's comments.
Happy hope, Sean. I don't call out friends. Oh, all right.
Well, you're a friend in my heart.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. So it's great that we're getting the inclusion of Rebels characters. We'll talk more about that here. But the beginning of this trailer, there's a lot going on. The tie-in to Rebels, seeing Sabine in live action for the first time. We get Zeb, of course, in the last episode of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, he looked fantastic.
Yeah,
right. And everybody on Twitter is like, where's Zeb in this? And it's like, we just got him. He's going to be in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we go from there.
And it's interesting that
that's one Rebels character. I see two Rebels characters in Mandalorian.
Because you have
Ahsoka,
and you have Zeb.
Yeah.
Zeb, and maybe we'll have a third one by the end of this season. Maybe the next episode.
From what I've heard with episode
Sabine
7 with Mandalorian, we're getting more stuff as we go along.
Yeah. We'll talk about the showing of the latest episode at Celebration as well later, because I know we all have some thoughts about, that choice that was made by Lucasfilm specifically.
Yeah.
But I really want to dig into this one part of the trailer that we get introduced to early on, and that is, I'm curious, Andrew, what your thoughts on this are, because I could tell you're probably stirring in your brain about who Shin Hati and Baylan Skoll are.
Yeah, I'm really curious on them, especially their lightsabers.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have a white core like the normal lightsabers that you see, like Anakin's or even Darth Vader's.
Right.
Where it has the white core. These lightsabers are just straight up orange. So yeah. I think they might be like the proto sabers from like the Old Republic times.
Okay.
Like right before lightsabers were a thing, or the orange is their way of like having the synthetic crystals. Mm-hmm. Like back in the old EU, the synthetic crystals were the red ones. So now maybe the orange ones are like the synthetic crystals.
That's interesting.
But
Sean, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I've been thinking about it, and I said in the group chat, I don't know how to pronounce his name from Heir to the Empire, but Baylan, I think, is based off of that character from Heir to the Empire.
Oh, is it Jaron or J?
Yeah, something like that. Because he was Thrawn's advisor in Heir to the Empire, right. And from what I read, he is Thrawn's advisor in Ahsoka.
Wow.
And what's the girl's name?
It's Shin Hati.
I'm just going to call her Shin. She's his apprentice. And I'm getting kind of like Darth Bane and Xana like vibes from that.
That's a really good point.
But like I paused it like where you could like see her armor, and it's like very like Old Republic style like Sith armor. So that's really interesting.
Sean, what are your thoughts on these two characters? I mean, I think the orange sabers, I'm so glad Andrew brought up the synthetic. I'll talk about it too. But it's such a different look for anything that we've seen. And I mean, just Shin Hati and Baylan Skoll here. These are characters that we've really, I know, right? That we have not been introduced to. These are obviously, I think they're probably inspired somewhere from Star Wars Legends, because this is the brainwork of Filoni, and I don't know. What are your thoughts based on the introduction of these two characters?
Well, I just had to look what they look like.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Santa Claus with a lightsaber.
There it is.
Yeah. There we go. Canon now.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. No, like you said, Robin. Like the orange lightsaber is like like you said, we haven't seen before, and like in live action, and be great to see like what these two characters bring to the table for Ahsoka series. And I feel it's going to be a big, like, not like I guess kind of a witch hunt to Ahsoka. I'm guessing. Like that's what I would love to see. I mean, kind of already see that in the trailer a little bit, but I feel it's going to play bigger with Thrawn. So
I'm so glad Andrew brought up too, and I'm glad that you brought this up too, about it's a different look, something we haven't seen. The armor, that callback to the Old Republic. If Balin is to be the advisor to Thrawn, what is the one thing that we've learned about Thrawn throughout Rebels and throughout
also can I say something really quickly?
Go ahead.
This is a kind of, I was just looking at Reddit for a second, and it says so the names Balin Scroll and Shin Hati. So in Norse mythology, Scroll and Hati are two wolves. So chase the sun and the moon. Yeah, which is I love that.
Of course, Dave Filoni used wolf references.
And we see that a lot in the Rebels with wolves, especially with the. So that's what I thought it was pretty cool when I saw it. Just
that makes it even cooler now.
That it
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It makes complete sense. And in being advisors to Thrawn, Andrew, Sean, the thing that we know about this is that Thrawn is a person of history. He loves collecting artifacts. And like you said, Andrew, with the synthetic lightsabers, I would not be surprised if those saber hilts and probably the composure of the components inside of them are from the Old Republic and are remnants that he has collected over the years. And that is what he's outfitting his I don't want to say disciples, but his right hand man and their apprentice in this fact. And I think we're going to see Thrawn in a way that we haven't seen him before.
We saw the back of his head.
We've never seen that before.
That is so true.
You've never seen the back of his head before?
That's dirty.
That's not.
How is that dirty?
It's just a little bit. You'll get it at some point. So
apparently Shaelyn did, and I guess I
did, but that's not where I was going with it.
I mean,
anyway,
so yes, so if we're gonna see that play out and see Thrawn, I think one of my notes here is that is he the one that's going to fulfill Palpatine's contingency plan on Jakku? Is he the one that is going to end up taking the hit? He's got Ezra at this point. That's what I'm thinking.
Or does he?
I don't know. But if he does, it kind of adds more to the contingency plan in my mind, that he's got a Jedi in captivity when he's fulfilling this. And is he the one? Because I see this completely playing out with something we're going to talk about later, which is Dave Filoni's The Fall of the Empire and the Rise of the First Order stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of a twofer happening here. But if it's Lars Mikkelsen that's going to be playing Thrawn,
I mean, you have the voice. You might as well just use him.
I would say so as well. I mean,
he has the same facial features like Thrawn anyway.
So my question in this to both of you is, do we see Thrawn fulfill the contingency plan? And do we see Thrawn also, I don't want to say trying to make plans to become the new emperor, the heir to the empire throughout this series?
I think he's going bigger.
But doesn't die by the hands of Ahsoka instead of by the other means. I don't know.
You mean the clone of Luke?
Oh no. Oh no, Andrew, we're not doing that.
And the clone of Darth Vader, which doesn't make any sense.
Oh my goodness, it's Lars from Spoilers I follow. That's what RFB just said. Interesting. That would make sense.
I mean, they obviously Corey Burton wasn't in the prosthetic for Cad Bane, but he was still the voice for Cad Bane in Book of Boba Fett.
Right. So what are your two? Andrew, I'll start with you. Does Thrawn go? Because he has to, I would imagine he has to go by the end of this, if not in Filoni's film. Is it by Ahsoka or is it by other means?
I think he might get a little overconfident.
Okay.
At the Battle of Jakku, which will probably be in the Filoni movie, because there's still a lot we don't know of what happened during that battle.
Right.
Because we got it in Battlefront 2 where you fought there.
Yeah.
And then in Empire's End where basically we just read about it. But it's interesting because Luke's not there at the Battle of Jakku. He's doing his own thing.
Right.
So we're not going to see Luke. So those who are going to be disappointed that Luke doesn't show up, he's not there anyway.
He's not there.
He's a little busy. But yeah, he's not going down in the series. My friend Justin put it this way: Thrawn is going to be Thanos of the Mandoverse.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Where he's pulling the strings of everything, but he won't get into any fights really until the movie.
Okay.
So like Palpatine.
Yeah.
Right. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Again.
Again.
So, Sean, what are your thoughts? If I know you're a big Ahsoka person, would you want to see Ahsoka take down Thrawn, or do you think that Filoni has a plan for Thrawn to continue into the movie itself that he's directing?
I think it's like I would love to see Ahsoka, but do it, but I don't think she will. Yeah. I think we're gonna see Ezra do it in the movie.
Ooh,
I didn't even think of that.
Because I feel like that would be his. I feel like that's Ezra's purpose. I mean, it depends how we see Ezra during in the series. We know that's gonna. I think my mind's gonna change once we see him, see what he's dealing with.
Right. That's a very interesting point. I hadn't even thought about Ezra being included in any of this. And then
because we don't know what Ezra has gone through yet.
Well, yeah, it's a really good point.
We don't know where he's at. Small glimpse of him in the trailer.
Yeah, just a little hologram. No, I love that the actor goes out and he was like, "Hey guys, thank you so much for all your support for me being a hologram. I really appreciate it." It's so.
I didn't even notice it with my first viewing. I was like, "Wait."
Yeah, it looks like just an ordinary mission that maybe Ahsoka's running on like a side tangent, right? Like she's trying to get somebody. But then it's the second time around when you really look at it, you're like, holy crap, that's Ezra.
But from what I read, Baylan is going to be the main antagonist of the Ahsoka series.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially if Baylan and Shin take the brunt of the series.
What it looks like, they're infiltrating that Republic like prison transport.
Right.
So it's like, who are they breaking out of there? Is that where they break out, Gideon? Or is it Thrawn they're breaking out?
Timelines match?
Do you want to ask? Yeah.
Yeah. Do those timelines even line up? Is this the same timeline as the Mandalorian, or is this happening as the same time as something else? I don't know.
I think.
Or is it Order 66?
I think it's gonna jump in between timelines, like right where Rebels ends and right in between Bando season 2 and 3, maybe.
Right. That seems to be that kind of timeline area that we haven't. I'm not going to say play in. Chuck Wendig's Aftermath did a really good job of filling in that gap. And I know Scott and I talked about it years ago on Talking Far, Far Away about the crossover of stuff happening in the novels and playing that out in the films and in the TV series. Mm-hmm. I think Filoni probably came to the realization, doing Ahsoka and saying from Kathleen Kennedy, "Hey, do you want to do a film?" Probably going to Chuck Wendig and saying, "Listen, you covered an area of Star Wars that we have barely touched on screen."
Mm-hmm.
That part of the timeline. And we'll talk about it later with Rey and her coming back into the Star Wars films with the new Jedi Order stuff. But that's another section that we haven't explored. And the Old Republic specifically is stuff that we haven't explored just yet. So
not yet, not in canon wise, but Legends, of course, we have.
I'm hoping. Yeah, go ahead, Sean. Yeah.
No, it was more of about Balin and Shin. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of comparisons between them two and Ahsoka, Darth Vader. I feel it's gonna be the opposite though.
Yeah, not so much Ahsoka and Vader, but Ahsoka and Anakin. Like it'll be.
Sorry, Anakin. That's right.
No, you're fine. But it's gonna be like the reverse of that, probably. Yeah,
that's what I thought. So that was just my little tidbit.
I mean, I could see it. I mean, Balin is essentially
like I feel like maybe Ahsoka is gonna kind of recruit Shin towards the end. Like,
I could see that.
Like maybe and have her team up with to go against Balin. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, that'd be a kind of neat twist.
Yeah,
that'd be very Star Wars. That'd be a very Star Wars move to have that happen. And I think that's a really good point and something that we'll watch play out, because honestly, one of the most exciting things in this trailer is the world between worlds. You know, when we started looking at that in Rebels, connections to Mortis and connections to deeper areas of the Force. And we see Ahsoka battling against Balin, what looks to be in the world between worlds.
Yeah. I'm curious how he got there.
How did he get there? We know how Ahsoka gets there, right?
How did you get here?
But we also know how Palpatine gets there.
Right.
Well, he needed help to get there. That's the thing. Yeah. The Force works against the dark side. It rejects the dark side. So he had to use the Sith magic, or I forget what it's called, to trick Ezra to almost opening the portal. And because he saw both of them, he couldn't physically go through until the fire latched on to Ezra, and then he could have went into the world between worlds.
If you look at that shot carefully too, Balin is blocking Ahsoka from going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the inclusion of Hayden Christensen coming back?
I think so.
Anakin, and she's trying to get to Mustafar to change the past.
I think so, but it's also been confirmed,
or just him trying.
I think it's been confirmed that they are doing that duel on Mustafar, like a what if she went and fought Anakin on Mustafar instead of Obi-Wan.
Right.
Which I've said before, she's not winning that fight.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sean, what was your thought?
No, I was just gonna say, or he's just trying to have her stay in between worlds, and he can't blocking her going back to her original timeline, so she's stuck
in the world between worlds.
Yeah,
that could be.
She can't she's blocking their current time. Maybe that's what he's doing, because I feel like that's what he's trying to do.
Oh, wow. There's a lot going on. I was even looking in that scene, the different parts of the mural that were lighting up inside of the world between worlds. As Ezra and Ahsoka were walking in Rebels through there, certain parts lit up, right? There were certain almost like constellations as they were going that guided them to the portal that they wanted to go to. So I was kind of looking and seeing, okay, which ones are lit up here, which ones. But it was hard to tell from a quick clip about what it might be around. But there's just so much in depth. Shaelyn's now going to have to go back and rewatch and actually watch for the first time Star Wars Rebels, because to watch.
So she hasn't seen anything Rebels yet.
No.
I finished the.
You kind of got a bit of spoilers with Ron.
When did Rebels come out? Like several years ago. It's fine.
Yeah, it's been 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah,
you
I'm
guys started clones,
behind
right?
the ball, so that means I get some spoilers. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not one of those you couldn't.
No.
Spoiler.
I hate it when people spoil a movie after opening day, or freaking The Mandalorian episode after it's been out for 3 hours. Like that's when I get upset with spoilers.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I'm worried
several
about.
Years I have embraced the fact that I'm going to get spoilers because I didn't watch it, within the year it was released.
Yeah.
So
you're getting bound to find those spoilers. So,
by the way, anybody who's watching this or listening to this episode, if you have not watched Rebels yet, I am not sorry.
No.
No. We just gave you everything.
The entire series is on Disney Plus. Go and watch it.
They're gonna have a hard time with season 1, aren't they?
Most of our fans have
I don't
seen
mind
Rebels.
Season 1.
Yeah,
I don't mind season 1 of Rebels. Season 2 is definitely where it picks up.
Yeah,
but the stuff with the Grand Inquisitor is still fun and interesting.
What was that?
Just like Clone Wars. That was just like the Clone Wars series. Season 1's, but it gets better in season 2. So
that's very
true. Season 1 of Clone Wars is rough.
That's
no, you know what's rough? The movie.
So long to get to season 3 where we are now.
Andrew, the movie is rough. So
yeah. I saw that in theaters. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be interested in Clone Wars. And then 10 years later, it's like, I love you.
I love you.
We got a love-hate relationship.
Which actually, I'm trying to think. It's coming. The Clone Wars movie is coming up on, I think,
Disney Plus.
No, it's already there.
Oh,
came out in 2008.
Yep.
The series was 2000.
Gotta do the maths.
When was the series? 2009, 2010? I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's this August is going to be 15 years old.
Wow.
It really puts in perspective of how old I am.
Right. It puts in perspective our ages, is what it does. But so towards the end of the Ahsoka trailer, just wrapping it up, we see her battling at what looks to be a scrapyard of some kind. I couldn't get the full picture.
It reminded me of the arena in Gladiator a little bit.
It was a little bit of that, yes. The only other place I could think it was, like, I ran through my head, I was like, is it Jakku? Like, is it the scrapyards on Jakku?
What does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
It would be a little, yeah, right. So then I played it out a little bit through Twitter and just looking at some, how other podcasts were
Dantooine.
Really, Twitter played it out. You just
it's Dantooine, folks. They're on Hawk.
Well, I was about to say we haven't been to Dantooine in live action.
It's very true. That was my conclusion was, are we on Tatooine? Did she go back?
I was gonna say Tatooine.
Is it Tatooine or Dantooine?
Dantooine is another planet in the system.
Planet.
Yeah. Which is where the old Jedi Council was in the Old Republic.
Yeah, Dantooine is the long lost brother of Tatooine.
Fucking Dan.
all the tips go right by Dan.
Why do you think Tarkin said it's not that big of a deal?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
We'll blow up Alderaan instead. We're right here.
Tarkin was like, no, we're good. There's nothing on that planet.
Sorry if anyone's named Dan listening.
I don't know. We're going to find out very quickly through our Twitter feed.
Brick City Blockade's canceled.
You've been reported by 74 Dans.
Hashtag stop Dan hate.
Stop Dan hate. Oh my goodness. So we've got Ahsoka. That was like the big this morning announcement. And the trailer that came out. We also got 3 new films.
Well, there was also other teasers. We just weren't showing them.
Correct. I did. Somebody posted on Instagram the Acolyte teaser. So
I saw.
Yeah, I felt like there was a little bit more, but I think the guy had to stop recording.
Hey, put that away.
Basically.
He got stopped. Yes, we did get some other teasers, but then we got the 3 films. We had Dave Filoni Kathleen Kennedy.
Hat silhouette on the wall.
Oh my! So can we talk about the hat silhouette quickly?
That's great. His hat is basically iconic now.
Everybody
It's
on
like the Indiana Jones hat.
yeah. Literally same effect.
The
But there were
Filoni
people
hat.
on Twitter. They were like, "It's just a hat." I'm like,
No, it's
You put respect to
No,
that
it's
hat.
"Yes,
it's like Doug's Dimodomes.
Doug Dimmadome."
Yeah.
Somebody's got to edit that pic. Somebody's got to edit that picture with the bigger top.
But it isn't a shadow.
Dave Filoni is Dave Dimmadome, home of the
Dave
Lucas
Dimmadome.
I'm Dave Filoni, home of the. I don't know. I'm gonna go.
Somebody's got to do it. But yes, hashtag in Filoni we trust always. So we get that panel, and I guess people had been talking about it for a while that Daisy Ridley, she had signed a large contract with Lucasfilm when she originally signed up to be a part of the sequel trilogy. And my guess was it was not only to fulfill her contract with Disney that she would come back to do this.
She hasn't exactly gotten many roles since The Rise of Skywalker.
Well,
I was gonna say she needs some money. I'm not saying that's a bad choice, but
And I mean, Disney is a pretty big cash cow. So
I was actually I agree. I mean, I think we also
You stole his points. Now he has to recalibrate.
So I got to recalibrate. So you're right. You're both extremely right. I think we came off of a time of the pandemic where a lot of actors and actresses didn't have work. Daisy Ridley hadn't been in much since The Force Awakens.
She was in that movie with Tom Holland that did terrible.
She was in the Murder Mystery Train movie.
Yes,
that didn't do well.
I'm kind of seeing a pattern.
So there is a little bit of that here, right? So let me say, I'm happy she's coming back to play in a series about the new Jedi Order. However, I posted a Brick City Blockade poll earlier.
Man, she has 4 movies coming out this year.
I know she's back on track here, being part of films.
I hope they do well for her.
Me too. I do,
because I don't want her just to be the Star Wars girl.
And unfortunately, that's what happened with Mark Hamill.
That's what I'm worried about here, is that she's coming back to play this role in the new Jedi Order. We're not going to see it for a few years, obviously.
No, it's a few years out.
Which is good. It'll keep her see what role she's going to get in the future before she comes back and play Rey.
It was like Mark Hamill coming back to play Luke in The Last Jedi. Things did not go as they thought they were going to.
Yeah.
When he came back.
Well, it also doesn't.
I mean, he was great for his voice.
Have the
voice
trilogy
acting,
planned out either.
Right. Exactly. So I feel if this was a Dave Filoni directed new Jedi Order film, I would feel a little bit more confident. I know we probably lost a bunch of viewers from this, but I'm just being honest in terms of I'm thinking about Daisy Ridley. I'm thinking about her coming back. I love it that she's coming back into the Star Wars universe. I think she is an intricate part of the Star Wars universe because we do have the sequel trilogy.
Even though they destroyed her character arc, it was awful.
Yeah,
yeah, that's the thing. The sequels are what they are. They're not good. But it's the characters themselves that suffered the most, especially Rey's character. She was great in Force Awakens, Last Jedi.
Also John Boyega's characters.
Yeah, because John Boyega was supposed to be a Jedi from the start, and then they got cold feet, and he's not going to be in the new movie. I don't think so, unless Daisy Ridley's like, "Hey, here's this big paycheck." I still don't think he will.
I mean, anything could change, so who knows? But
I never thought Harrison Ford would come back, but he did, but I knew the
Right.
reason why he came back was because Han Solo was going to die.
Because he'd been begging for Han Solo to die since the 70s.
Although I do feel bad because I was talking to someone else before Force Awakens started. And I'm like, Han Solo is going to die. And then when the scene came up, I'm like, oops. But the thing that has me interested, how is Daisy Ridley gonna like fight with this lightsaber? I have a hard enough time using it.
You have a hard enough grip on it. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, it's not easy to like fight with. So I'm curious how she's gonna handle it. You know?
Yeah.
He has several years to train.
Not several years yet.
I saw a tweet saying that she's gonna be a master to baby for Grogu.
Well, that's the thing. Grogu would be like 91 at that
97.
point.
I think it was
And
97.
Yoda didn't start training Jedi until he was 100. So I mean, technically Grogu could be training Rey.
It's the one film that, and I hate saying this, but we get announcements of films Celebration or on social media that they're going to be worked on, and literally months later we hear Lucasfilm is going to stop. Yeah, they're getting cut, right? I feel better. I feel better about this one getting all the way through to the end line because
it's got Daisy Ridley's
it's got Daisy Ridley in it, and I don't think Kathleen Kennedy can risk this again.
No.
If something gets the plug pulled on it,
also,
then she's done.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
she's done.
They had such wild success with these live action series that they've had. I feel like that's been them testing the waters for new films, right? Because they had the sequels. Sequels didn't do great. Sequels weren't well received, so they had to be like, okay, well, we gotta take a step back from this longer format storytelling, really like see where we're going with these characters and with this universe, with this thing that built for us. And now that we have such success with The Mandalorian, Book of Boba, everybody's excited about Ahsoka, all of these live action series, or Obi-Wan, sorry. Forgot to mention Obi-Wan. That's a big one.
It's another successful one, yeah.
Now that we've had all the success and people are going crazy about them, it's like, okay, now we can step back we know what works for these characters, and we can step back into films like a longer format story with this under our belts. So that might be part of it.
I saw Rosario Dawson saying if Ahsoka series as well, there's a potential there's going to be a season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and I think that'll be the same case with Obi-Wan Kenobi as well, because there's still stuff they're going to announce.
Right.
I would be surprised if we get a season 2 of Obi-Wan, or Obi-Wan's going to show up in another series somewhere.
Right.
Ewan McGregor wants to come back again, which I don't blame him because Obi-Wan is a great character.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, I don't know what would you guys think if the new movie was actually a series instead with Rey?
I think it might have been better received because then it gives them time to actually flesh out the story and not jam pack it into a 2.5 hour movie. Unless it's going to be multiple movies.
I feel like a series would work much better though.
It would, especially for Rey's character, because it's like, all right, it's 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker. What did she do in between that time? Like, if it was a series, you could go back until that time, basically like how they just keep giving us gut punches with Order 66.
Yeah, right. Right. Just one after the other. Yeah. It's very true. So
it's like we're down for the count, and then it's like another gut punch for Order 66.
Let me say this too, and I might get some original trilogy fans mad at me for saying this.
How fucking dare you?
Already, see? I already got it. So this is, and actually, it was my dad that brought this up to me when he went to go see The Force Awakens. He said, I'm worried that I'm not going to see enough of the original trilogy characters in this that's going to pull that demographic into the movie theater, right? So when we're talking about the new Jedi Order, we're only talking about the demographic that remembers 2012 and beyond.
Yeah.
With Star Wars, right? Trying to get them into the theater to see stuff about the new Order of the Jedi. So they really have to dig in deep and say, what are things that we can put in this film that are going to connect all all the films together? That's going to be a much harder pull with this film than I think with anything else they've worked on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's just like putting Darth Vader in Rogue One. It's like, if you didn't have it, that's going to be completely different. And
yes. I don't think Rogue One would have been as well received if you didn't have Darth Vader in there.
And that's just one 40-second scene.
Which Dave Filoni directed that scene. So that makes it even better. Here we go, right? Here we go. This is why I said that if I knew that Dave Filoni was working behind the scenes on this, which he might be.
I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are in control of the creative story of all the projects. I think they make sure everything connects, and because there was nothing planned for the sequel trilogy. There was something planned for The Force Awakens, nothing for Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker.
Correct.
I think their biggest flaw with the sequel trilogy, besides not having a mapped out plan of the trilogy, was trying to use different directors.
Yes, I agree.
And not having the movies written already, because George Lucas had all the movies written.
They were all set. He had the movies, and he had some Legends ideas already on the books.
Yeah.
He was all set.
So
there's a lot up in the air that we just don't know.
I feel like John.
Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was gonna say, I feel like Jon Favreau should direct a new Daisy Ridley movie, or Dave Filoni. I mean, but I feel like if you want more money and a better receive, get Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
I mean, not discrediting Dave Filoni, but he's not a big name in
this
Hollywood
is his first
directors.
Movie he's directing, so it would be understandable that they would want Jon Favreau for Rey's story. I know it's the director from Captain Marvel. Yes. I wasn't the biggest fan of Captain Marvel, so that makes me a little worried. But I guess they already have a script for it that was already written by someone or something like that.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just rumors of what's going on. But
I want to be pleasantly surprised by this movie.
Oh, I do too.
I want people to.
I think everyone does. Everyone should have that expectation of being surprised. A good surprise, not a bad surprise.
It's just so early on. We have this same stuff when we heard about The Mandalorian. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, it was like, oh, this is great, but this is a character that we've never met before. How are they going to tie it into the past? How are we going to tie this into the original trilogy? How are we going to? So these are just the normal questions that we ask. I don't think there's any criticism of Daisy Ridley here. I don't think there's any criticism.
No. Of the character of Rey or Daisy Ridley as an actress, she's not a problem with the character. It's the writing and everything else that happens.
It's the director. It's the director.
It's more the director than the writing.
Yeah, because we had, J.J. Abrams, and then Rian Johnson comes in and completely throws it off a loop because he wanted an art style film.
And we almost had the Rise of Skywalker have another different director.
Yeah, it was Colin Trevorrow.
Colin Trevorrow was.
And it's going to be called Duel of the Fates, which is that's an odd title for a Star Wars movie.
So
although John Williams would have been like, "Hey, more money for me."
So I guess we'll see what comes of that. I'm sure we'll
he deserved it because he did great.
Yes. Which, speaking of Dave Filoni, that's, we're going to get a film that Dave Filoni is going to be doing, his first film ever.
We've been championing Dave Filoni forever.
Oh, forever. Forever. And we've been saying, give him a film to start. Let's see how that goes. But this man needs to be running Lucasfilm at some point.
Oh, him and Jon Favreau are probably going to run.
Dave is the heir apparent with George. I mean, it's right there.
I'm going to call bullshit because it's not his first movie.
No?
Clone Wars movie.
Technically, the Clone Wars.
Technically, the Clone Wars. Okay.
Sorry, I had to get technical.
We're talking live action, Sean.
Come on, Sean.
Yeah, but live action. You didn't say that. You said movie.
Well, the Clone Wars movie wasn't very well received, so
no.
I just got Rural Farm Boy.
But then again, that was Dave in his early career of Star Wars.
Well, it also didn't help that George Lucas was like, we're gonna put it on the big screen.
That was a really good George impression, by the
way. Thanks. That was the first time I did a George impression.
Uncle George with the.
But yes, it's his first directing movie.
And Dave's like, well, all right, I guess we're gonna put it in theaters. Because it's basically 3 episodes put into one long movie, which it's like an arc that was like the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But then when the show came out, it was reversed. So it's like, wait, what's going on now? Because the first
the movie's canon, right?
Yes, it is. Because the first 2 seasons are out of order with the episodes.
I don't count that as canon, though.
Dave Filoni's brain is like the scene from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with all the connecting points. It's literally Dave Filoni.
It absolutely is.
Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, so I'm going to make the Rebels connection here, and then we're going to get to my movie, and we're going to wrap up The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett all together inside of this.
So does that mean we're going to get...
So you're saying Charlie Day is going to play Dave Filoni in an Autobot?
I mean, yeah, Charlie Day could do that. That's a very fair point. Yeah, but that's what's been talked about is wrapping up The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett in this film.
Which, I mean, and probably not Ahsoka, but she's obviously going to be in the movie.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Hi. Goodbye.
I like that they're wrapping it up sooner.
Yeah.
Instead of riding the coattails of Mandalorian until it gets dull.
Yeah.
Which, according to the last episode, Mandalorian's over and done with now anyway, so
Oh,
yeah, I mean, we see Lizzo, we see Jack Black.
I honestly didn't mind the episode.
I didn't mind it. I liked it. It was
neither
fun.
did I. I don't know why people are like, the filler episode. I'm like, no, stop.
It gives it time to. It gives it time to, like, stop and breathe instead of just action.
You and John have been saying that for years on the podcast. Yes. We need episodes that allow us to breathe.
Yeah,
plus, we finally got Christopher Lloyd in Star Wars.
Well,
and he said Count Dooku.
Christopher Lloyd said Count Dooku.
He's giving respects to Christopher Lee.
Also, Grogu's king now, so.
No, he's a knight now.
I mean, knight. Sorry,
he's not king. He's not a
Jedi knight.
No, he's not King D.
Lizzo knighted Grogu. I would never say that.
I never thought I'd see Tenacious D in Star Wars, though.
Tenacious D in Star Wars.
I did like how he did in his beard and stuff.
I was waiting for the saxophone, though.
I was too.
I was waiting for the dun, 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 dun,
I was surprised that he's an ex-Imperial.
Isn't that cool? Okay, so let's scrap anything going forward. Let's get a Jack Black Star Wars movie.
Yeah, maybe he might be in the movie.
Oh,
this is wrapping everything up.
It's wrapping everything up.
He's the big bad dude guy.
It's not Thrawn. It's Jack Black.
So let me just say, Jack Black being in Star Wars is like the ultimate welcome to the big man's universe, like the heftier men universe. It's like, fuck yes.
Well, I mean, look at Baylor.
I just love Dave Filoni letting all these like big name actors wanting to be like who are like senior fans of Star Wars. We got We got Lizzo. We got
Christopher Lloyd probably
Jack
just walked on
Black.
set,
Christopher
he's
Lloyd.
like, hey.
We had Bill.
Christopher Lloyd's walking in the back. Hey guys.
We had Bill Burr.
We had Bill Burr. We had Jason Sudeikis, who punched Grogu. Shut up.
Yeah, you did.
We're forever mad at Ted Lasso for that.
Although I gotta say, going back to the movie news, I'm glad that Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie was canceled.
Really?
Was it canceled?
There was no mention of it.
Yeah, there wasn't any mention of it
because of how Thor: Love and Thunder was received.
Oh,
because if he was to write Star Wars, his writing would not fit.
No, I can't see it.
He would put
unless it was like a series. I feel like it would be like better for a series if you write.
Do we think that Lucasfilm executives and Disney kind of kept an eye on that, and that's why they were like, the numbers for Love and Thunder?
Love and Thunder did not do good at all.
What were your thoughts on Love and Thunder? We
In
saw
the
it on
box
the
office,
but I don't really remember much about it. It was fun, but it didn't have a lot of substance.
Wow.
And that's what made me worried about his Star Wars film. I'm like, if that's how this is turning out, then I don't want.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, it could still happen. We didn't hear anything.
It would have been it. Well, here, like, think about it this way: you didn't like the last episode because it was like a filler episode. I feel like if Taika Waititi had directed a movie or an episode, it would have looked exactly like that one.
Andrew, remember we have two days left.
Love and Thunder vibes with Jack Black and like the kind of like ruler of this eclectic kingdom of weirdness, like and laughs. So.
I mean, true. I mean,
that's the vibe.
I still would have given it a shot, but even then, I was still kind of on the fence.
I probably not. I mean, I would have enjoyed it, but if that's like a whole film of that, I don't know if that what you want to be like focusing your energy on for
that's what I was like kind of concerned about because
maybe if he directed like one episode of a show coming up.
Well, he did an episode of Mandalorian in season 1, but he wasn't writing it.
Yes, he directed it, but he didn't write it.
He's fine when he directs.
Which episode was that? I don't remember.
I think it was the second to last episode.
Yeah,
or it was the last episode where IG-11 kind of terminated himself, and then he's trying to come back.
Oh, when IG looks at Din, and he's like, "Don't be sad. I'm not crying. I can tell it in your voice." I'm not sad.
Oh yeah, I forgot he voiced him too.
He was basically saying to Din, "Robot man got to go boom boom. You need to take care of child."
Yes, basically.
That would have been the Taika Waititi version.
Yes,
would have been like robot go boom, baby still cooing.
But movie news, we got off track a little bit.
Indeed. So we have that, but let me say the one film of all of this, I'm going to actually say it, of Celebration first day.
Avatar 4.
Very excited. What was that?
Not what? Avatar 4.
You're just skipping 3?
Avatar 4, way of the
I mean, I felt about both movies.
What do you call it, Shaelyn?
I didn't even watch the second one, so I was just making a joke. Okay.
She calls it.
Okay, Star Wars news. Star Wars movie news. Go on. Forget my joke.
Avatar Way of the Water is actually Avatar Way of the Wet. So we'll move.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yes. So that's Shaelyn's idea. She takes credit.
I don't know. I don't. I found it on the internet. Somebody else came up with that. It was not me.
So, Old Republic, James Mangold.
Well, it's not Old Republic.
It's just before. It's the rise of the Jedi. It's origin story based. Yes. So James Mangold, I was looking up, and he did 3:10 to Yuma. He did Logan.
Yeah.
And then the Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash film. All of those that I love.
Love that movie.
And from what I understand, he's either writing or directing the Swamp Thing.
Directing, I think. He might actually be co-writing on Swamp Thing too. So James Mangold is a genius director and writer, and
I mean, he was originally supposed to do a Boba Fett film, but that fell through.
He was, yeah.
He was.
So I think this is a better opportunity for him with Dawn of the Jedi, because it's something new and that hasn't been touched.
Correct.
And that way, nobody would be like, "Oh, you screwed up Boba Fett."
Oh, he's also directed the new Indiana Jones movie, by the way.
Yep.
Correct. So he has history with Lucasfilm and with Disney on that. So,
well, is this going to be another see how Indiana Jones is received again? Like how?
I mean, I think it should do fine. It looks like a fun Indiana Jones movie.
I think with a brand
no
like
Shia
Indiana
LaBeouf.
Jones, yeah.
I mean, I didn't like the Crystal Skull, but I don't know. We'll see how he does it well, and I'll see what happens for the new Star Wars film he does do.
So, do we see James Mangold play in the world? I'm thinking, like you said, Andrew, if we're seeing the rise of the Jedi, really, and like original origins here, the first thing that came to mind when I heard this was we're going to get Jedi with the backpacks like in Legends.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, damn. This is the opposite of the play-in on Daisy Ridley and the Rise of the New Jedi, where it's like it's going to be hard to find connections to original trilogy characters, this, and that. I kind of feel the opposite on this, where it's strictly a movie about Jedi in my mind. Yeah. And you're going to play into the fandom with stuff that I just see this being a film that's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like another Rogue One situation when I saw that.
Yeah.
I could see that too.
But I think this is going to be, like you said, it's going to be a dark movie. Probably like a beautifully dark movie, but I think this is going to be the first like rated R Star Wars film. I feel like,
or at least to it.
Close to it. Like it's going to be too dark
It'll
for kids to go
basically
see. It's going to be for the more mature audiences.
It'll be episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, where Darth Vader was snapping children's necks and all that. But the thing I'm most excited about is to learn more about the Force, because there's still so much we don't really know. So it's going to be interesting to see how they know they're connected to the Force and how they build the first prototype lightsaber.
Right.
Because before that, they just used vibro blades and like swords and stuff like that.
Right.
But it also makes me curious. Are they going to bring in like Nagasato with the Sith or Marka Ragnos?
Right.
And stuff like that. Especially with, not to deviate from Dawn of the Jedi, but with Acolyte, they're focusing on the dark side. So it's like, and that's during the High Republic. So it's like in between like the Old Republic and right before the prequels.
It's within that area. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't sure in terms of the timeline. I have to go back and look and see when they posted it up during Celebration of where these things were going to lie. And I guess the one thing that this has me curious about is we're going to play within that timeline, and I have not had the chance to get into the High Republic stuff much.
I've read the first book. I've read the first book. It's really good. I just haven't been able to keep up with them.
Sean, you said
I haven't gotten into it, but like you said, there's so much High Republic content that's coming out so fast. I'm like,
honestly, it might just be better to just wait for the series, because I'm pretty sure they'll catch you up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I can't pronounce his name, but the actor who played Chewbacca is coming back to play the Wookiee Jedi Master from the High Republic.
Love that.
It must be so cool for him. Not only was he Chewbacca, who's already a badass, but now he gets to be another Wookiee who's a fucking Jedi.
I love that.
That was very cool.
His lightsaber is so unique because the hilt is like a sword hilt.
Yes.
It's not like Kylo Ren's where it's like the exhaust. It's like a legit like hilt. So that'll be really cool. And then the only one that we will know from the High Republic is Yoda. And that's it.
Yeah.
Because Yoda is still a Grand Master at this time as well. But the good thing, there's 2 others. So it's not just him. That's why during the Clone Wars, Yoda was so like, oh, fuck this shit. Because he was the only Grand Master left.
Yeah. No, it's accurate. It's absolutely accurate. This is a film that I think I'm probably going to go back. I'm probably going to reread the first High Republic book.
It's definitely worth it, especially with the political stuff during that time.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
There's also Vikings.
There's also there's a lot of the High Republic comics, which I think I'm going to get into. Like,
they're also doing.
I'm not much of the novel reader, but
right.
Like they're also doing like
comics will help me.
A kids animated series called Young Jedi Adventures, which is set during the High Republic, and
I saw that
stuff like that. And everyone's like, "Oh, who asked for this?" I don't know. Maybe the kids that want to watch it.
I hate when adults do that. It's
it's the same thing with Skeleton Crew.
Goddamn kids. Jeez.
It's the same thing with Skeleton Crew. It's like, who asked for this? I'm like, it seems interesting, and it's geared for younger kids,
younger audience. Yeah.
Stop. Like I saw that
because George Lucas has said from day one, Star Wars is a kid's story.
It's like I've always said. It's a franchise for the 13-year-old kid who's trying to figure out the difference between good and bad.
And whether or not to kiss your sister or not.
Correct. So it's
Sweet home Alabama.
People who go on Twitter.
Alabama hasn't seen Star Wars, so it's okay.
People on Twitter that go online and say, I didn't ask for this. It's like, no, you didn't ask for it, but the kids are getting it.
It's basically the same thing with the Rey movie. Like, yeah, we might not care for it, but the little girl who saw Rey in The Force Awakens, that's for that little girl.
Yes.
That's me right now.
Exactly.
I'm that little girl.
Sean.
I'm that little girl.
Hey, you know what, Sean? Listen, if you're excited about the Rey movie, we are going to be there. Can I say that? The one thing that is super exciting about this, I messaged you.
I just like to see. I mean, I love Rey's character. I just can't wait to see her again.
Opening night with you guys. I get to do opening night at a movie with you guys.
Opening nights again.
Yes.
Premiere nights again. Like, that's the one thing that I think that I walked out of this and I was like, oh my God.
We haven't done one since Rise of Skywalker.
Since freaking Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
And now we're
and you were crying about Leia dying next to me, and I heard you crying.
You did hear me crying. It's true. That's a really good impression. I'm gonna go get another popcorn. And then you're just sitting there. You're just sitting there in honor of Carrie Fisher, and you're just like, that happened.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, we would have to at least do like IMAX or Dolby for that.
So my ears were penetrated by Dolby last time, so I think we'll
Dolby.
Shaelyn.
Well, it was RPX last time.
Was it RPX? So we haven't done Dolby.
No, it's just as loud though.
Can we do IMAX though?
I mean, I saw
IMAX.
I do want to see the Dune Part 2 in IMAX. So
you love IMAX?
I saw John Wick Chapter 4 in IMAX.
How was that? Because I want to go see that.
It was really good. Ironically, Donnie Yen's playing another badass blind guy. So
hey, look at that.
Good for him.
Like, it's great for Donnie Yen because he's a main character. Like,
I love Donnie Yen.
He's there throughout the entire movie.
And Now everything was all Star Wars because Donnie Yen's in Star Wars. If people didn't know,
exactly.
And now with them doing the Old Republic and they bring Revan in, they can bring Keanu Reeves in to be Revan.
Hey, see,
honestly, I would love to see Keanu Reeves in Star Wars.
Me too.
Yes.
Like I heard, I was listening to an interview saying that he wanted to do like at least 100 films before he died.
Well, you gotta put Star
He's
Wars
58 right now. He's like up to 70 something.
58 still doing like 90% of his own stunts.
Yeah.
Which the stunts in John Wick Chapter 4, it's like, how the fuck did you not die doing that
scene? How did you not just go away?
Literally, there's a scene where it's obviously it's a stunt double because Keanu Reeves couldn't do it.
Will this be
a
spoiler?
Not really. It's just John Wick being thrown, an actor being thrown down escalators, but it's like a really hard throw. Like he had to toss himself down the stairs. And it's like escalators is pretty brave to do that on. Anyway,
escalators.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Star Wars.
So that kind of wraps up the films that were announced, because not only was there that, but they really dropped everything early on.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the one thing, we'll get into them showing The Mandalorian this evening, the next episode to people, but not
which is not fair.
So let's talk about it now, because it kind of ties into our final reactions to the day. So a lot of people are upset that there are the folks at Star Wars Celebration could wait in a queue to get into the main hall to see the next episode of The Mandalorian, but we have to wait till next Wednesday to see it, right? And the concern is that spoilers and everything else are going to get across social media.
Absolutely, because people are assholes.
Because that's the one thing. We love the Star Wars fandom. We love the people that listen to us and everybody else. But there's always those bad apples out there who want to take pictures, who want to take actual video from the inside there.
And someone before Rise of Skywalker, someone took a photo of Rey and Ben Solo together.
And I was spoiled by that.
So it's like, well, fuck. I knew it was coming.
It's like me. It's like me being spoiled of Rey as a Palpatine. So
yeah.
So that's gonna happen, and
that was because I spoiled it because I said she was a Palpatine in 2018.
No, that was before that.
So we know that's gonna happen. And one of the points that I brought up, I jumped onto the Force Ghost Conversations podcast this evening. Andrew, you were on there with me as well. And we were talking with Anthony, which, by the way, shout out to Force Ghost Conversations. Great podcast. Anthony and the crew over there do a wonderful job with their show. They did a great breakdown this evening of day one of Celebration. So big shout out to them.
I keep expecting Shaelyn to just wrap that around your neck and just.
I was waiting for that.
I'm sorry. For context, I am making friendship bracelets because I am going to the Eras tour in May, and I just got all of my embroidery thread to make friendship bracelets, and I am very excited.
Can you make me one?
I already made you a keychain. This was supposed to be a bracelet, but it came out too short, so you can have this, and then I'm gonna cut this so that it's on the bottom. And I figure I'll make you a bracelet too, but like this, you can put on your keys and stuff. It's got all the colors from all the albums. I grabbed the colors. I love that. Yeah. So, yeah, that one's for you. I think you might like that more than a bracelet, but I'll make you a bracelet too.
Guess what I get to do while she's at the concert with Sean?
Masturbate? I don't know.
No, that's not what's gonna happen. God, no. I'm gonna go see Asteroid City. There goes our one viewer. We had one viewer there. The minute you said it, it's a 0.
It was probably Tony.
No, I'm gonna go see Asteroid City.
Masturbating.
The West End. It's Sean.
You act like that's something I would never say.
Oh, it is absolutely something you would both say. Yes. So yes.
Doesn't make it any less gross.
That's absolute fact. Anyway, so
yes, please don't do that.
No.
Yes, Robin, don't do that.
I won't do that.
You'll go blind. You already have glasses, so.
So, when we're talking about Mandalorian being released, one of the things I brought up on the Force Ghost Conversations podcast, and Anthony talked about briefly, was that what a great opportunity to show it at Celebration to folks there, and then say, you know what, we are going to release it on Disney Plus early because it is Ramadan. It is Passover. There's a lot of families that are together this weekend because of Easter. Mm-hmm. And what a great opportunity to release the next episode and have everybody gather around the TV on Easter or for Passover or whatever you're celebrating this weekend and watch Star Wars together. What an opportunity to do so.
Nope, that didn't happen.
And no, it's not going to happen. I think it's a missed opportunity. And along the same lines of that, when we were watching the Star Wars live stream and they were doing stuff from the Celebration stage, it was actually I forgot which podcaster that posted it. I think it was I'll get their name right at some point here and I'll find out who it was. But they mentioned and they said it's actually really frustrating these last couple of years that we've watched the Star Wars live Celebration stream, but we don't see anything that happens in the panel room.
Nope. It's because we didn't get the Acolyte teaser. We didn't get the teaser for Skeleton Crew. I don't think there was a teaser for anything else, really. But we didn't get the episode of Mandalorian. So it's like, why should the ones that can't go be... I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Yeah.
Well, because they have to sell. The argument, the devil's advocate argument, is like we have to sell tickets, so there's got to be something exclusive. When they first said that they were going to do the Mandalorian episode, I was like, oh, they don't have enough news to announce, so they need to have something enticing that's going to be like a little reward for the people who are in person. But clearly they have enough news to announce and they have enough panels because we've been talking about this for like an hour. So clearly that's not a problem. So it's just like, why would you do something like that? And it's not even that was announced as like, oh, you'll get a bonus episode of The Mandalorian or early access to an episode of The Mandalorian if you buy a ticket. It seemed kind of last minute.
It was a spur of the moment thing. Today. Yeah. They announced it just after lunchtime. They said, hey, by the way, if you're a ticket holder, get in queue at 6-7 p.m. because we're going to show you the next episode. And it's like, whoa.
What about the people at home? Come on.
And it's not hard. Like, this is the thing. It's not hard to suddenly say, hey, by the way, folks in the control room who are doing work on Disney Plus, who are, the brains behind releasing these episodes and having them queued up and ready. Hey, do you mind hitting that button a little bit early this weekend so that people can also see it as well? Like, I think that's a way to get subscribers. I think that's a way to get people more involved in the Star Wars universe who maybe aren't, or who were watching the live stream to get more interested in Star Wars itself and said, oh, they're releasing a new episode out to everybody tonight. How great is that? Maybe I'll actually go back and rewatch through so I can get caught up on what's going on here.
I feel like we're going to get a trailer of something tomorrow, and the people at home are not going to see it.
Yeah. That's that. We have the Ahsoka panel tomorrow, and we won't get that on live stream, and we're probably going to get we're going to get our first look at Thrawn, which we know will probably get leaked. And Lucasfilm is one of the first companies to really come out that hosts an event like this and says, we're trying to avoid spoilers. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that.
But if you're trying to avoid spoilers, why not just show the panel?
Then make it more public. By restricting things, you're making people want to do it more. It's like anything else in this world. I'm sorry. I was going to make a reference, but I'm not going to do it because it's going to get me in trouble. But
what doesn't get you in trouble?
That's fair. That's
fair. Masturbating.
Making.
Sorry. Go on.
So, yes, making her food. That is absolutely.
Oh, you're responding to that.
That's accurate.
Never mind that. You didn't hear what I said.
No,
regard what you said.
And I chose to ignore it.
Good, Shayla, good.
So I don't know what their plans are for the rest of the weekend. I expect that our wrap up of day 2 is going to be fairly quick compared to tonight. I don't think we're going to have as long of an episode to talk
unless they surprise us.
Unless they do, but if anything, I think what we're waiting on is the
Luke
Ahsoka.
Skywalker series.
It could be something. You never know. It's Celebration. There's always something that drops that we didn't expect. I'm a little worried they put too many eggs in the basket. Easter pun. Today, I'm a little worried they put too many eggs in the basket today for the rest of the weekend.
I feel like they're gonna just hop on over like each panel and all that.
Yeah.
Another pun, sorry.
No, it's a good one. It's a good one. And
I quit.
So I don't know how you guys feel about it, but just to kind of wrap up,
bullshit is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like it is too.
It's not fair. That's what I think. It's not fair for everyone. It's not fair.
It's really not, because not everyone can afford to travel to Europe.
It's accessibility, right?
Or even if it's in California, not everyone can travel to California or Florida.
People don't have the money.
No,
people are working five to 9 jobs.
So there's still that
9 to 5 jobs. So
right, and that's kind of the one thing that I think Lucasfilm has to re-explore, because when George Lucas first started doing Star Wars Celebration, do you know how much tickets were to go to the first one in Denver?
What year was this?
$10.
Jesus.
$10.
How much is it now?
I believe right now to get into Star Wars Celebration, you're talking about $65 to $75 per pop, and that's just for general admission.
Well, I mean, that's basically how much it is for Fan Expo.
Right, but the thing is with Fan Expo is that you're putting it in a region of the country that's very accessible for people, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You can fly into Boston fairly cheap. You really can't fly to California cheap.
No.
You can't fly to Europe cheap either.
Not quickly.
And not quickly.
Well, if you wanted to do it cheap, it would take you a couple of days and you'd stop in like Albuquerque or some shit along the way.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You stop in Albuquerque? Is that what we're going to do if we ever go to a Celebration in California?
Just threw out a name of somewhere in the Midwest, and then that's where it landed.
Road trip! Anyway, so...
we could take
Brick
the train
City
to California.
Could take the
Brick
train
City
to California.
Blockade, Albuquerque. Can we name our episode Albuquerque?
I hear that train a-rolling. Start saying Johnny Cash. So I'm curious to see what happens day 2. Day 1, I think we got so much really good stuff, right? With the Ahsoka trailer, with the announcement of 3 new films, so that we can have an opening night celebration again as a podcast with other podcasters and other groups as well. There's definitely some things that they could work out with. What? Mm-mm. With other podcasts?
No, that's not what I was thinking.
What?
No.
Why were you making that face? Did I say something?
No.
Uh-oh. What were you thinking?
Spit it out, Shaelyn.
He's gonna wear a weird costume.
I'm gonna wear a weird costume?
Probably gonna wear a weird costume.
Why is that?
Because you're gonna be so excited that you're gonna wear like footy pajamas or something.
Oh my god, that's so true.
Footy pajamas.
Well, I mean, he didn't really dress up for Fan Expo when he went the first time.
He will.
So is that what we're doing for the next couple?
I mean,
Sean's just in there, guys, what's the plan? Remember, Sean works at Marshall's now, so we've got access to that wardrobe.
The wardrobe.
The Marshall's wardrobe.
I mean, I got my Jedi Knight jacket from her universe, so I mean, I can wear that.
I got an Ahsoka jacket. It's so cool. I'll show you. Like, it's beautiful.
I got Renee an Ahsoka cardigan, which came with a pin, and it was signed by.
I have the red, the one that's like a maroon burgundy color with the markings on the side.
No, it was the
I have
grayish one with her symbols on the back, and it came with the AT-AT pin, and it was signed by Ashley Eckstein.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. That's the other thing tomorrow and this weekend. I want to see product news.
Mm.
I want to see brand new Black Series. I want to see.
I was about to say, I think they're working on Yoda's lightsaber.
Oh, really?
Because when they showed Luke's in Mandalorian Season 2 and even Book of Boba Fett, Black Series put out a new Luke Skywalker lightsaber.
Wow.
Which I showed in the group chat that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be Black Series that does Yoda's, or if it's going to be like at Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, okay.
We're going to Galaxy's Edge, so we gotta do something about that.
I messaged Andrew. I'm like, do you need me to pick you up anything when I'm there?
I'm like, Jack.
Everything.
Belt. So we'll have to see what happens. Day one, Star Wars Celebration, a lot of good stuff, a lot of criticisms.
A lot of bullshit is what the end of it is.
Bullshit.
So, Andrew, final thoughts on day one, what you're hoping for day two?
I'm hoping that day two isn't a number 2. I hope that they didn't just show everything that they had on day one. So it's a 4-day convention. So it's like, all right, you threw everything at us the first day. What's the point of going the entire weekend? You know?
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
Like with, not to go back to Fan Expo, but it's like they have stuff planned for the entire weekend, which granted Hayden Christensen is only there Saturday, which that's the main reason why I'm going.
Yeah.
And of course the Clone Wars crew, but they have specific stuff that they announce on specific days. So it's like, all right, I'm going to go for this panel that day, or
yes.
And I miss when Star Wars Celebration would live stream the panels during the live stream.
Yeah.
I got to say, I was actually disappointed with the live show.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that were from home.
Because it's like, all right, you're talking to the people on the main stage, but it's also like, why can't we see the panels that are going on? Even the only panel we saw was, I think, the one for Andor.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes.
And it's like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Andor. I still haven't finished it yet, but it's like we couldn't get like the first panel that was shown or anything like that.
The panel that we got was basically a behind the scenes. Let's do a recap of what you've already watched.
Yeah,
which they're fun. They're fun panels. They're on the main stage.
Yeah, but that's for like Sunday or Monday though.
It's like going to San Diego Comic-Con. You go for the exclusive merchandise and you go for the announcements.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's the reason you go.
If you even
you meet cool people. So
what's that, Sean?
You meet cool people.
Yeah, right. Meet cool people. You know, even if you get the
is Scott in chat Celebration?
What's that?
Is Scott in chat Celebration, or was he not able to go?
No, he was not able to go. I think it was an accessibility thing. Getting even from now, let's think about that. From Scotland to London, right? He's on the same continent, and even he was like, I just couldn't see paying the money to go down there, get a hotel for 4 days. And actually, it was Scott that messaged me and said, I would not be surprised if they front load everything within the first 2 days. And then everybody's sitting at Celebration on Sunday and Monday. Like, what did I just pay $125 for 2 more days?
The only thing that's scheduled for Sunday is like gameplay footage for Jedi Survivor.
We're going to be watching the live stream on Sunday, right? And Monday. And there's going to be nobody in that convention.
Well, I mean, I got a podcast Monday, so I'm not really going to be watching. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know you're a busy guy, but especially on Sunday, I thought the timing of Celebration, if anything, they would do just Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, I mean, they also didn't really promote Celebration a whole lot because I didn't even realize how close it was.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, it was really a last minute thing in my mind. So we'll see what day 2 brings. We'll see what comes of day 2. Hopefully,
we'll be right back here talking about it. So.
Yes, we will be. That's right. And it probably won't be an hour and 24 minutes long. It'll probably be like, hey, guess what? We saw this. Everybody have a nice sleep.
Yeah.
We'll talk about more stuff then.
That's right. We got a lot. We got a lot of stuff.
We all haven't really talked about Obi-Wan as a whole.
I know this is true.
Our thoughts, so we could just turn it into an Obi-Wan discussion.
I love that.
And how beautiful of a man Obi-Wan Kenobi is.
Ewan McGregor is a beautiful man.
He is.
He's a gorgeous man.
Daddy won Kenobi. It's facts.
Star Wars is just full of daddies.
She's not wrong. Anyway, gentlemen, let's wrap this up with a little thing we like to call
butt plug time.
No, it's not that. Not that.
Plug your cords in.
It's called plug time here from the Brick City Blockade.
Well, it's half right.
Yeah, kind of half. You added a little thing to that. So, Mr. Andrew Garish, where can the good people find you across social media? And what do you got coming up with Commander Nerd?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Commander Nerd, Instagram at Andrew62592.
You're having a Sean moment.
Yeah. On here at Commander Nerd on YouTube. I have a podcast coming up on Monday with KB Loves Movies. We're going to talk how he got into YouTube and the Blu-ray community and stuff like that. And also Katie Video on Friday, who does custom VHS tapes of like modern movies. So like
that is cool though.
She took John Wick, the first movie, and put it into like a VHS tape and everything like that. So that's going to be a really fun discussion, and actually a Steelbook Crew group hunt on the 16th at Holyoke Mall. So that'll be a lot of fun. So I got a lot of stuff coming up.
That's awesome. No, that's great. We've been watching, we've been sharing, we've been doing everything to help elevate Commander Nerd.
Always watching.
Mr. Sean Michaud, let's get your social media right. Where can the good people find you on social media?
Instagram, it's Zone Z. Twitter, Sean Michaud 1. Facebook, I guess, whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Robin, where can the people find you?
You guys can follow me over on
Robin
Twitter.
W. Vote.
No,
It's not that anymore.
It's not that anymore. You guys can follow me at Visual DJ NH. That's my new page. I'm sharing all the kinds of craziness that I'm doing in the world.
Yeah, is it Shaelyn that's running the Twitter account, or is it you just talking to yourself?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually anyway.
It's a joint collaboration, Andrew.
Look at that. It's Robin Vote featuring his girlfriend Shaelyn Frost on an album called Buffoonery. So you guys can follow me over on Twitter at Visual DJ NH. You guys can follow me over on Twitter. Sorry, that's Twitter. You guys can follow me on Instagram at It's VGT. And make sure, please, to like the Brick City Blockade page on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Real Fandom Talk.
And subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yes, please do.
Because not only are we going to be doing live streams, but there'll be more stuff in the future as well.
Yes.
Not that I'm trying to take over the YouTube channel, but I'm just saying there's more stuff to come.
Commander Nerd has a lot of experience with it. We're tapping into that. We're going to do a lot more here on YouTube. Here, getting your comments, getting your perspective on that galaxy far, far
But we'll
away.
still be audio listeners too. So.
Yes, this podcast that you're listening to right now will be available on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts.
In 2 years.
In 17 years. Exactly how that works.
So 2 weeks
It'll
3 weeks.
basically be the timeline of the new Jedi Order.
Yes.
It'll be 15 years from now.
Anyway, to wrap up this evening, we wish you a
Merry
great
Christmas.
old Star Wars celebration.
Hey.
Follow me on Instagram, does he?
Oh, do you want people?
Oh, yeah.
Would you like
What
that?
about Shaelyn?
Would you like
He's
that?
gatekeeping me.
I'm not gatekeeping.
Wow, what a gatekeeper. Like a politician.
He's scared of
Shaelyn,
my
where can we find you?
isn't he? I'm on
Shaelyn,
everything
where-
at Shaelyn Grace.
Shaelyn.
Yes.
Just want to make sure, because sometimes people look at you and you go, "Hi there, Shaelyn."
Yeah. People might spell my name wrong. But no, it's the same on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, you know.
Hey, maybe Shayla and I will do a Taylor Swift podcast.
Oh, hell yeah. Most of my stuff is going to be about Taylor Swift.
On Brick City Blockade.
On Brick City Blockade.
Hey, it's a fandom thing, right?
It is a fandom
thing.
Hey,
Taylor Swift is a fandom.
We'll do a live reaction after the concert.
Oh my god. Yeah. While we're waiting to get out of traffic, just a live reaction in the car.
And I'm just sitting at the fucking
Fuck.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you tomorrow night here live with day 2 recap of Star Wars Celebration. And until next time,
may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Always.
I love you guys.
Aw, shut. Copyright.
Oh, whoops.
Just tosses.
Wait, are we gonna get copyrighted with the lightsaber too?